Any ads heard during this episode that are not in our voice are placed by third-party agencies. They should not be considered the opinion of or to be endorsed by Hoosier Myths and Legends.
Welcome to another episode of the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
I'm Mary Quigley.
And I'm Hope Wilhelm.
Join us as we dive into the spookier side of the Hoosier state.
So what comes to your mind when you think of Indiana? Do you think of corn? Do you think of basketball? Do you think of the Indianapolis 500? Maybe you think of famous celebrities who were born in Indiana, like John Mellencamp or Michael Jackson.
But as the saying goes, there is more than corn in Indiana. 92 counties make up the Hoosier state. In this podcast, we are going to discuss some Indiana folklore from each of these counties. If you are into tall tales, ghosts, or spooky legends, then this is a podcast you are not going to want to miss. This is the second episode in our countdown to Halloween.
Each day this week, we are bringing you a creepy story from the Hoosier state.
Tonight, we're unearthing a story out of Indianapolis that blurs the line between true crime and nightmare.
In the late 1800s, whispers drifted through Indianapolis graveyards about coffins being dug up under the moonlight and bodies vanishing without a trace. There was one man, Rufus Cantrell, who was right at the center of it all. They called him the King of Ghouls. You see, Rufus was a grave robber who became a local legend. Grab a cup of coffee, lock your doors, and get comfortable, because this one will make you think twice about who or what might be lurking in the cemetery after dark.
So, Becky, I have to ask, how does someone earn the nickname King of the Ghouls? That's not exactly something you put on a resume.
Right? Can you imagine? Well, Rufus Cantrell wasn't your everyday troublemaker. In the early 1900s, he led what newspapers called the Ghoul Gang. They were a group of grave robbers who raided cemeteries around Indianapolis and beyond, and their job? To dig up freshly buried bodies and sell them to medical schools for dissection and study.
So basically, grave robbing for science.
Exactly. Now, at that time, medical schools desperately needed cadavers, but getting them legally was tricky. So men like Cantrell stepped in to fill that demand. And the University of Indianapolis, Central College of Physicians and Surgeons, and even Indiana Medical College were rumored to have bought bodies with no questions asked.
Okay, but that doesn't make it any less disturbing. I mean, imagine being a grieving family member and realizing your loved one's grave had been dug up.
Oh, it was horrifying for people. Newspapers reported it like a scandal out of a horror novel. In fact, by 1902, Cantrell had been accused of digging up hundreds of bodies, and some were so fresh that the dirt on the graves hadn't even settled.
That's just next level creepy. And he actually admitted to it, right?
Oh, yeah. He didn't just admit to it. He bragged about it. And when he was arrested, he told reporters that he had personally dug up more than 1,000 bodies over the years.
He even said he started as a professional resurrectionist when he was just a teenager. He'd go out at night armed with a lantern and shovel and make a little money on the side by supplying the medical schools.
Ooh, and that was considered a side hustle. I'll never complain about grading essays ever again.
Exactly. But things got darker. His crew didn't just steal from graves. They allegedly began targeting people before they were in them.
Rumors spread that Cantrell and his men started killing people, especially the poor or those without a family, to sell their bodies for profit.
Oh my gosh. So they moved from grave robbing to murder.
That's the legend. Nothing was ever proven, but it terrified people, And one cemetery in Indianapolis even installed electric lights to scare off body snatchers.
Cemeteries started hiring guards. Families put cages called mort safes over fresh graves. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into how Cantrell's empire of ghouls finally crumbled and what some people say still lingers in those old cemeteries today. Are you an Indiana small business owner looking to reach a wider audience?
Consider partnering with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast directly to advertise your business.
Our listeners are passionate, engaged, and love supporting local businesses just like yours. By advertising with us, you'll connect directly with a community that values what Indiana has to offer.
Promote your business with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast and watch your customer base grow. Ready to make your mark? Contact us today at HoosierMythsandLegends@gmail.com, and let's bring your business to the forefront. When the law finally caught up with Rufus Cantrell, it wasn't because of murder. It was because he couldn't keep quiet. He was a talker. Once arrested in 1902, he spilled everything to the press, even naming doctors and undertakers who supposedly bought the bodies.
So he just outed the entire operation.
Pretty much. He became the talk of the city, basically just front page news. And at one point, newspapers described him as the ghoul who haunted the living. People were outraged, not just at him, but at the idea that respected doctors and hospitals were involved.
That's wild.
You know what? It really is. And his fame didn't even save him. He was sentenced to prison, though he didn't serve long. After his release, Cantrell claimed he'd found religion, and he even became an evangelist. But his reputation followed him. He did end up getting sentenced to prison because of, quote, frisking the pockets of a gospel praise group. And this happened up in Detroit, Michigan. He was sent to Marquette Penitentiary.
After 1916, there's not much out there about him. Many people believe he died in prison under mysterious circumstances.
What is really wild is that no one agrees on where he was buried.
Wait, you're telling me the king of the ghouls might not even have a marked grave?
That's right. And that's where the legend takes a ghostly turn.
Over the decades, people have claimed to see a shadowy figure wandering near old Indianapolis cemeteries, especially around Mount Jackson and Floral Park, carrying a lantern. According to folklore, it's Rufus Cantrell himself, doomed to forever search for the graves he once robbed.
That's poetic justice right there.
It is.
But this is a creepy thought, Mary. Maybe he's still looking for a body to sell.
Or maybe he's just trying to find his own final resting place.
Either way, I'm locking my doors tonight.
Before we go, remember that these stories are based on local folklore and reports passed down through the years. Whether true or just imagination running wild, Rufus Cantrell continues to haunt Indianapolis history all the same.
Rufus Cantrell's story reminds us that some of Indiana's darkest legends were born from real crime, and that sometimes the line between history and haunting is as thin as a coffin lid.
If you're ever walking through an Indianapolis cemetery after dark and spot a flicker of light near the headstones, well, maybe it's best to turn around.
Have you ever heard of Rufus Cantrell or maybe even had a strange experience in one of those old cemeteries? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsandLegends@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous. our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Hoosier Myths and Legends is a Quigley Productions podcast.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car.
As always, stay spooky.